Hey everybody, it's Brooke with The Buttered Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. Today we are going to show you how to become a master at baking a cheesecake. Now, if you're anything like me, cheesecake is really not in my wheelhouse. I have a really hard time juggling all the do's and don'ts as far as the water bath and how to keep it from cracking. It's just like so many other things that I cook. It's just not my specialty. So, lucky for you, I have found a way around that and how to make delicious cheesecake bars. So, just in time for the heat of the summer, we're going to make a cool tropical cheesecake bar using mandarin oranges and toasted coconut. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need 3 simple ingredients for a crust. Now, what I'm doing today just involves a small dish, and you can get the full recipe later on our website at thebutteredhome.com. So let's get started with the crust. So first of all, I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. In the very dish that I'm going to bake it in, I'm going to mix my flour, my sugar, and some room temperature butter. And it's just a little bit more than room temperature, but it's soft, and that's what you want. So we're gonna get all that good butter in there. And yes, I'm using my hands because a cook's best tool are clean hands. So now we're gonna just take a fork and we're gonna mix those things together. And just take our fork and just push down on that butter so that it kind of becomes smaller pieces inside the sugar and the flour. And yes, you may have to clean your fork off. And if you have a pastry cutter, you can use that too. But we try to show you practical ways that anybody can do recipes like these. And while I have a pastry cutter, you may not. So to show you this with a fork, this shows you that a fork works just fine. Now, just like pie dough and biscuits, once you cut that butter in, you're going to see it changes texture and it becomes coarse. What we like to call in the South, mealy. So we're going to take this now and just spread it out in our dish. And then we're going to use those cook's best tools again, which are our hands, and we're just going to press that down into a crust. And you might get some on your hands, on your fingers, but that's okay. And you just want to press it up ever so slightly so that it makes a little ridge on the side of the dish, almost like a pie crust. And like I said, don't worry about that stuff you get on your fingers. You can just rake it off and set it back in the center. All right, so now that we have that done, just because I had a lot stick to my fingers, I'm going to come in with my fork and my finger and just pat that down. Can get it spread on the base. Now you're simply going to place this into a 350 degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And don't worry if you have holes like this. This is kind of a scraggly dish, so it will come together and it will make a beautiful crust. So we're going to be right back. I'm going to pop this in the oven and then let it cool and come right back. Okay, so we're back. We've got our crust out of the oven and it has cooled. So now we're gonna mix up the filling, which is your cheesecake filling. And it's really, really simple. It's just 4 ingredients to mix up the cheesecake filling, and then we just fold in our fruit. So it's very easy and it comes together beautifully. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to add in our softened cream cheese. Now, keep in mind, I'm only making half of the recipe. So if you have a small family, these recipes are great because you can half them and have just enough without having too much. So for the full recipe, we would double everything that we have. So right now what we're going to do is we are going to just take our mixer and we are going to just fluff this cream cheese just a little bit on a low to medium setting. Now we're going to add in our sugar. And our eggs. Now that we have all of that done, we're just going to scrape down those edges. And keep in mind, like I said before, this is half of the full recipe. So for the full recipe, you would use 2 eggs, and you would want to add those in 1 egg at a time and incorporate each well. So now we're going to take our mandarin oranges and we're just going to gently fold those in. Now we have our cheesecake filling done. We've got our crust, and I'm going to pour that in, the crust. And then we're just going to spread it out. And it doesn't matter if it goes over the edges. Like I said, this is the perfect cheesecake. You don't have to worry about a springform pan. You don't have to worry about it being perfect, because I'm about to show you what makes it even more wonderful. So I'm going to slide that out of the way. And then we're going to get a small bowl. And we have sweetened shredded coconut. So we're going to put that in our bowl. And then to that, we're going to add some melted butter. And I know it doesn't look like enough, but it is. There's so much natural sugar in this coconut that it doesn't need much help to brown. And that little bit of butter melted goes a long way. So we're going to mix that up really well. And then we're going to take it and we're just going to sprinkle it right over the top. It'll probably work better if I just use my hands. Coconut is a lot like roasting nuts. You'll do it and you'll do it and nothing will happen, and then boom, all of a sudden you'll burn it. So the great thing about this recipe is that it is a relatively quick cook time. In about 40 minutes, you're going to have your cheesecake bars. So we are going to take some foil and we are going to cover them for the first 20 minutes. Then we'll remove the foil and cook them for 20 minutes more uncovered. And that's when your coconut will get nice and toasty and brown. And then when they're done, you just take them out of the oven, let them cool and cut them and then enjoy them. But that coconut acts as a camouflage sort of on the top of that. So if you have any cracking in there, you just don't have to worry about it. This is my kind of recipe. I don't know about you. So we're gonna put this in the oven for 20 minutes, take it out, uncover it, and cook it for another 20 minutes, and then we'll be back to show you the finished product. So we're back. We have a 40-minute total cook time done, and this has come out of the oven beautifully. Now you're gonna notice there's a piece missing, and that is my piece, because the first piece is always the cook's piece because it's never pretty. But I wish you would look at how pretty that coconut toasted up. It would not be that pretty if it were uncovered for the full 40 minutes. So now I'm going to just scoop up a piece of this and just show you how gorgeous it is. And it just, you have that beautiful orange in the middle, and it doesn't matter if it cracked or what, you have a beautiful cheesecake bar dessert ready for your people that you love. So look for recipes like this and many more at thebutteredhome.com, and follow us on Facebook, where we cook live every Monday night. We hope you've enjoyed this video, and we have many more to come. So from the buttered home to your home, bye-bye.